Welcome to the friendliest place in the West.
We're back at Knott's Berry Farm. And we're rolling in late on a weekday afternoon
because Knott's Berry Farm has just begun its annual Boysenberry Festival, a celebration of the fact that this berry was first commercially produced right on this land where the theme park now stands.
As a matter of fact, the Boysenberry is named after Rudy Boysen, a one-time park superintendent for the city of Anaheim,
who crossed the streams and strains of other berries to create the most purpley, perfect, juicy berry of them all.
The one that a local farmer right down the street would pick out of a ditch,
perfect, market, and sell from a roadside stand on his farm.
That farmer being Walter Knott, and that farm,
the future Knott's Berry Farm. I love that once a year now, Knott's Berry Farm recreates that original berry stand for the Boysenberry Festival and then puts up a plaque next to it with a picture of the original just to give people a sense of the history here,
of which there's a lot. Sweet, purple, juicy history.
Now, obviously, there's a lot going on at Knott's Berry Farm. There's rides and food and entertainment.
And that's without counting all the special features and crafts and vendors they bring in for the festival itself. Before I get sucked into any of the rest of this stuff, I actually want to focus on that booth just a little bit more.
In previous years, they did something rad. They did what Walter Knott did, and they sold boysenberry plants out of this booth here in Knott's Berry Farm.
A very cool historical throwback. Unfortunately, though, it always seemed like they ran out of plants
and couldn't keep enough in stock. So I noticed this year they did something different and stuffed the booth with a whole bunch of boysenberry and boysenberry themed products, and then this sick, eye-catching, vintage art decked out box.
And the shtick is, it's a build-your-own boysenberry gift box.
You get to stuff this thing with a certain number of boysenberry products, and then underneath it all is a purple boysenberry-themed blanket.
How sick is that? Now, the reason we're coming here today on a weekday instead of the opening day, of the festival, right on the last weekend, is because on the opening day of the Boysenberry Festival, Knott's Berry Farm goes from Ghost Town to Crazy Town. Seriously, every year the Boysenberry Festival gets bigger, and that opening weekend is a doozy.
I did, however, come down here for opening weekend with Allie,
who spotted that build-your-own Boysenberry-themed gift box, and of course, I'm a sucker, so I had to get her one. She was so excited about it, she seemed to like it more than Whiskey Jim loves whiskey. So that's how I knew I needed to mention it when I came back with you guys to the Boysenberry Festival. That's why
Get your hand off my knee.
Oh, sorry. That's why it's a huge relief off my mind that I've now showed it to you. Whew, I didn't forget, right, buddy?
Yeah, you called me Whiskey Jim. I'm Whiskey Bill.
Actually, over Ghost Town's long history, you've gone by both names, Whiskey Jim Bill. I even have old Ghost Town newspapers from the 1940s and 50s showing both names, sometimes Whiskey Jim, sometimes Whiskey Bill, so I can pretty much say whatever I want now.
But you can't do whatever you want, so get out of here. That'll show 'em, Bill. Jim, you quit that.
All right, and now, commence au festival. They've got food, fun, and music out here, according to the banner.
And I suppose it fits under the fun category, but that also means a lot of craft booths, which means there's always something new to see at each Boysenberry Festival.
That's because so much of this stuff is handmade.
Like all these handmade plush items over here. There's so many. Think about it. Each one crafted individually. Like my friend Maria's booth over here, which is always full of amazing handmade crafts. I honestly don't know where she and her mom find the time to make all this stuff.
And they don't just make cool stuff, they also find cool stuff like this. Look at this! A springtime rubber chicken keychain, and it keeps on squeaking. Look at this. I saw this when I was here the other day. Couldn't stop thinking about it. This is my new favorite thing. All right, I better stop before I go in the barn, because I don't want to spook all the horses in here.
They're beautiful animals and used to a lot of admirers.
I'm not sure how used to rubber chickens they are. Then again, they are farm animals.
So maybe it's all right. Look at this burro over here.
She's getting all itchy and excited, because donkeys are actually smart enough to know that it's just about quitting time. They're just about to close up the barn
to take the animals back across the street for the night. They've done their duty. Soon they'll go home and sleep well.
And I'm glad we made it here to the farm before the barn closed, because I wanted to point out this little sign up here
which they put on either for the 100th anniversary, which just happened sort of right during the pandemic, or for the Boysenberry Festival, or both. This Old MacDonald's Barn sign. Now you may be thinking, oh, let's just get the song, Old MacDonald had a farm. Yeah, you get the drift. But actually, that's a very deep-cut historical reference to an old part of Knott's Berry Farm, now long forgotten, called Old MacDonald's Farm. It was sort of the petting zoo area, farm-themed area in Knott's Berry Farm back in the 50s. The area is now part of Fiesta Village, and there's almost no trace of it left over there, so this is a pretty cool throwback to the time halfway between full berry farm and full theme park when old Knott's Berry Farm also had Old MacDonald's barn animals on display. Animals like chickens. I love this thing. Hey, check it out. There's something even better sounding outside the barn. Yes, sir, there's a whole bunch of good country fried music on the farm during the festival, which, as you can see, when people find time to squeeze in some music between the booths and the rides and the food and the scenery, is quite popular. Now, me, I have celiac disease. It means I have to be very strictly gluten-free, not even any cross-contamination, or I'll get violently ill, which is why I don't usually participate in much theme park food, period, or restaurant food anywhere. But from all that I smell every year, and from the little bit of food I've been able to partake in over the years, not to mention the candid testimony of all my companions to all my Boysenberry festivals, I must tell you that the food is very much something to write home about. I see people queuing up at station after station with their festival tasting cards, literally lining up for treat after treat, whether it's beer, barbecue, or boysenberry stuff, with nothing but smiles on their faces and super satisfied gullets. And as we all know, there's nothing quite like a fully satisfied gullet. See, here's the thing too about the Boysenberry Festival is that not every line is long. It sort of depends on what part of the park you're in at what time of the day. The secret is that most people come in big waves, first in the morning, then around lunchtime, then in the early afternoon, right? And they all kind of explore around together. So you gotta kind of go against the current, and then you'll find things like the whole craft beer tasting area pretty much, well, not empty, but certainly not nearly as crowded as you might expect for an obviously very popular part of the Boysenberry Festival festivities. I rarely ever imbibe adult beverages, maybe once or twice a year. Nothing against them, I just used to be in a band and I'd get paid in booze. I've just moved on to another phase of life, and unfortunately, because again of this celiac disease, I don't get to have things like Boysenberry lager. But I've been talking to some of the people in here, and they're all saying that these beers and liquors and wines and things are super duper tasty. I guess I'll have to take their word for this one. Plus, I just like the aesthetic in here and its history. Leave a comment down below if you know whose barn this used to be and why it's very appropriate that there's an octagon on the floor. Oh, look at this. This is how you know it's 6 o'clock. Look at all the animals have done their duty. They're going home to stable well, yeah. You know what? As many fantastic booths as there are in Ghost Town, and there are a lot with absolutely fantastic crafts and snacks and, oddments, including 2 of mine and Allie's favorite things that we saw the other day. Scented pine cones, which smell ridiculously good. And these, look at, these are potpourri pies. Those aren't real pies. They're not made out of gluten or ceramic or clay or something. Fake pastries. I gotta get some of these for Tyler. Anyway, as much as I love Ghost Town, I do often get stuck in it because I love it so much I never want to leave. So the animals retreating across the farm made me realize now I have a pretty good excuse for traveling across the farm myself as the sun begins to sink down in the west. Go to Fiesta Village and show you where the old MacDonald farm used to be. Because as much as I like Calico Square by daylight, I actually came out here to hang out at night. To hitch one of those nighttime rides of the Ghost Town and Calico Railroad, or maybe even the Calico Mine ride itself. So really, while I'm waiting, it's the perfect excuse to go and visit Fiesta Village. It's funny, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this before, but every time I come into this tunnel, all I can think of is being like 15 years old and my friend whose mom worked here and who could get free food whenever he wanted would sit right here at the end of the tunnel and ask every person who walked by for money for McDonald's. He wouldn't lie. He'd always tell people, I don't need it, I just want it. And people would stack up dollar bills and give him money, and then he'd take us all to McDonald's.
and I would try to talk to all the girls walking by. So when I was 15, that tunnel was a cool spot.
I feel like both of those things would be unacceptable things to do now, so don't try that at home.
Oh, check it out. Jaguar's running.
Either it's been down for a while or it's just been a while since I've been over to this part of the park.
It feels like it's been so long since I've seen it.
All right, here we are, friends. At long last, we're headed into
Fiesta Village. Looks like they got some musicians over here in Fiesta Village as well as Ghost Town. Anyway, that picture of Old McDonald's farm,
which was actually taken from an old Knott's Berry Farm postcard from back in the day, would have been right about here-ish. Somewhere right in this neighborhood. You're actually looking in the same direction.
This sort of slant right here on the edge of that building, that was once the seal food stand. The seal pool itself was sort of right down here in this area from the dance floor, kind of to the middle of the walkway. And then the area over here between the carousel or the merry-go-round and the Fiesta games. And beyond them, where that sort of swing ride is, that was the home of Old McDonald's farm. But enough of my yakking, check these guys out. Oh, look at that. The last light is fading off the ancient Aztec pyramid up there. And you know what that means? It means the sun has gone down in the west.
I'm glad I walked over here because it seems like this year that the Boysenberry Festival, in terms of the food and the craft booths and stuff like that, is mostly confined to just Ghost Town.
I feel like I remember there being booths all around this area in Fiesta Village as well. And now I can't remember. Am I just remembering the taste of Knott's Berry Farm stuff, like the pandemic events? Or was it always like that during the Boysenberry Festival? Weird. Very weird. Well, the pandemic has messed with all of our heads. Weird.
All right, well, since there's really no booths over here and I'm not dying to play El Wacko today.
Because let's face it, when you are El Wacko, why play El Wacko? Am I right, lady? Am I right?
Never get a laugh out of either of you two.
I guess I'll be moving on to greener pastures.
Speaking of pastures, look at this over here in Camp Snoopy. Rather than having the Boysenberry Festival take over the decor,
they've got a heck of a lot of Easter takeover stuff, including Easter eggs everywhere, colorful lighting at night, including what you think are Christmas lights, but they're actually little flowers. They're Easter lights, folks. A bunch of Easter eggs out there and bunnies and magic mushrooms, your traditional Easter magic mushrooms.
Perfect to go with your annual Easter time semi-truck ride. Awesome!
No, but seriously, I didn't notice this last week. There really are Easter bunnies and Easter eggs everywhere over here, which is both unexpected and exactly what I thought I'd find.
Ooh, there's a chunky one over here. That's a big boy.
I'm totally distracted now. I feel like I'm on the hunt for Easter eggs when I should be looking for boysenberries like Seldom Seen Slim up there. Sure is pretty out here. All right, I don't think they even have all the Easter decorating done yet. When even is Easter? Is it over? Is it coming? I don't know.
What I do know is that long, slow sunset has begun, and I'm looking forward to checking out the farm at night, so let it come. Let the darkness come. It is awful pretty out here in Camp Snoopy with these Easter decorations. A lot different than Not Scary Farm in Camp Snoopy, let me tell you. Never really thought of Knott's Berry Farm as somewhere to bring the fam for Easter, but it's actually kind of delightful out here.
If you're looking for somewhere to take the kids to celebrate for Easter, you could do a lot worse than this. All right, well, here I am, exiting Camp Snoopy now. I guess having shown very little of the Boysenberry Festival booth, so just to briefly mention a few.
You've got your gift box booth, the booth with the wacky, so spicy peanuts inside, and others. The Old West Spice Company that has an amazing Pueblo seasoning I bought.
The crafty soaps, dude, the gummy bears smell so good. They even have a Fruit Loop smelling unicorn soap.
The booth that keeps yelling at me when I try to film it.
The one over here by the picture gallery I already showed you with the fake pastries.
Apparently when you heat up those pies, it brings out the potpourri smell more. Then of course there's the lady that makes the really cool denim jackets every year.
There's her booth right by the Calico Saloon with a lot of knitted hats, some of which are Boysenberry themed, but I've got to give props back to my friend Maria and her booth, where she actually came up with that very first Boysenberry pie hat you'll see around during the festival. And now she's going wild with these chicken hats. You've got the handmade stuffed animals I showed you earlier.
I want to just show you things I've already showed you.
So I guess we'll have to get off of Main Street in Ghost
Town here and cut across over to School Street, which is the street with the school at the end of it, where we have official Boysenberry Festival merchandise. And right next to the school, you got the guy with the bees. What they actually want to sell you is boysenberry honey, but I can't stop thinking about the bees.
Seriously, there's quite a buzz about this place.
Then this year, right by the bird cage, there's a booth with boysenberry tea. And I'm talking iced tea, breakfast tea, relaxing tea, exciting tea.
No immunity yet, though. That would have been helpful during the last couple years, right? They could sell immunity. Never mind.
Check this out, directly across from the Birdcage Theater. If I turn around, hey, you got the blacklight painting booth over here. Ronnie and Mario, I think his name was. They have blacklight paintings on velvet and some other ones that Mario's done that light up when you shine a blacklight on them.
This is weird. If you put on these chroma depth glasses, it makes all the blacklight paintings 3D. This is a witchcraft booth.
Ronnie's paintings are bewitching me. Man, I'm glad I looked at this at night again.
Because when it's dark, that is a standout 10 out of 10 stop. All right, over here in front of the gun shop, we've got some tutus. We got the tutu booth.
We've got a whole bunch of beadwork and jewelry over here.
And I found myself going the wrong way again. I gotta cut back over to School Street again. And then right over next door to the glass blower, we've got
blown glass. How about that? Who would have thought? The perfect location. Dude, my grandma would have loved this stuff. She loved all those blown glass paperweights and everything.
She also would have loved that you could have come here to the Boysenberry Festival and actually watch them make this stuff out of molten glass. The same way that sometimes you can watch them doing chainsaw carvings at the end of the street over by the school, which reminds me, actually, probably started heading down this way a little too soon. I didn't show our annual shot of the traditional
chainsaw carving area. Looks like there are plenty of new chainsaw carvings out here this year, including a fantastic looking Bigfoot. Look at that, Harry and the Henderson style. And this year we've even got a huge Iron Man. Seriously, would you look at the size of him compared to the people walking by? And over here next door, the Mandalorian. What the heck? Would you look at the size of that Mando?
Right on, dude. That's a Mondo Mando.
Oh, and there's Baby Yoda on his side. And if you don't like the one with the Mandalorian, you can get the standalone Baby Yoda they've got going on in the booth.
Not into Star Wars? Get a sick wizard.
Or a spoon for mom to punish you with.
Or hey, you know what would be a gas? Buy yourself an Esso Tiger.
In all seriousness, though, I've been doing a little woodworking and wood carving myself, learning to carve with chisels and other saws, routers, different stuff like that. Chainsaws, though, not so much. I am still deathly afraid of chopping off my own foot by accident if I use a chainsaw. Plus, I don't think my neighbors would like me using chainsaws very much, so until I get that cabin in the woods and start working on my manifesto, I don't think I'll be doing much chainsaw carving. Still, though, it makes me have a much greater appreciation for, even the fact that they're using a power tool, how difficult it is to carve wood without splitting it into a million pieces, and how much skill and vision you have to do something in 3D like this. I mean, really incredible talent, vision, drive, and stick-to-itiveness. I mean, these guys make everything I made look like poop. Oh, last but not least, around the corner from there, all by itself, there's this little booth where somebody's been making aprons and bags and all kinds of handy sewing crafts right here as you watch. They're gone at the moment, but definitely a good booth to swing by. Get it? Baseball bag pun. I think that's it this year. I think it just stops there. And then if we cut through Boot Hill Diggins back to School Street, we'll see the last few and then be able to fully enjoy Knott's Berry Farm at night. By the way, and I know I've mentioned this before in every Knott's Berry Farm video lately, but I did film that 100th anniversary documentary a couple years ago with tons of old footage and Knott's history. If you haven't seen it, go check it out, because a sequel, or actually several sequels, are in the works currently. And if you're interested in Knott's Berry Farm at all, they are the jam. Get it? Boysenberry jam. Now, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the last couple of booths out here at the Boysenberry Festival. We've got one of our, with a ton of hats. Look at all that headwear. Never show your bald spot again. Hats for days and more bunnies than you can shake a unicorn horn at. Uh-oh, we got another variation on the old Boysenberry pie hat. Looks like this one, we got some artwork over here, and oh, that smells really good. It's one of the food booths out here. The food part of the festival. It's probably the most popular part, the part I partake in least. I can smell that trio of sausage. We can smell it too, darling. Smells like love.
Stop saying that. You know it smells like sausage.
No, it smells like love. Nothing smells like love.
Yeah, artwork aplenty. A tiki stuffing his face with boysenberry, more necklaces and jewelries and pendants and ooh, healing stones. What's in here? Ah, it's not supposed to be Not Scary Farm yet. Why would they put mirrors here? That's just cruel. And you know what? I'm not sure, but I think that's it. I think we've seen all the booths. Oh, one of the dreaded basketballs. I don't know who came up with the Knott's Berry Farm basketball idea. Whoa, there's always basketballs everywhere. Boom, boom, boom. Drives me nuts. Then again, I can't really complain. I have been walking around all day, squeezing a rubber chicken in everyone's face, so I can't really complain about the basketballs without being a hypocrite right now. Ah, look at this, the old 340. The Green River. Just an absolutely beautiful piece of railroad and Knott's Berry Farm history right there. This is actually the year that the Ghost Town and Calico Railroad turns 70 years old. For 70 years, these trains have been circling the tracks here at Knott's Berry Farm. And normally I would ride inside of one of these historic rail cars. But you know what? On this nice soft evening, so far nobody's in the cattle car. And super nobody is sitting outside in the observation open flatbed car. Well, at least until a couple of seconds ago. But I think I'll stay out here anyways. It's nice. I thought it was gonna drop, like the temperature was gonna plummet once it got dark, but no, I'm still feeling pretty good. Kinda tempted to hop into this last completely empty passenger car back here. Look at that. Oh, I haven't had this much freedom walking around the train since I got to drive it a couple years ago. Like I said, it's so nice outside. I actually got to film some of the unused cars that time as well. The more I think about it and the more time passes, that was one crazy day out here. All right, at the last second I gave in. I couldn't help it. It started to fill up out there and this just looked so nice and tempting. And then that nice friendly conductor there came through and said, oh, don't worry. It is haunted, so you'll have plenty of company. And he looked over my shoulder back here and waved goodbye. Now I'm nervous. I have the buyer's remorse. Of course, if you want to talk about haunted, you should actually check out these cars. The like crazy private ones that we filmed that one time. Those are creepy. All right, you hear the whistle?
Alrighty, folks. My name is
Time to get going.
Ghost Town Calico Railroad began here at Knott in 1952, and this in daily operation ever since. The locomotive and railway cars from that day are over 140 years old. They used to take passengers to and from Denver in the Rio Grande days. If these railway cars could talk, they'll tell tales of the gold rush, streams, and fortunes of the pioneer spirits of the Old West. Walter Knott was in hand for the dedication of these railroads, and his traditions have been maintained every day since. Have a great journey. We'll see you back at the station.
I got him up!
Wait a second.
Yes?
You got a prison stripe uniform
That's
on.
right, I'm a prisoner!
You must have broke out of jail when we did.
I'm ready to be a bandit like you! I forgot my gun!
Did you go to bandit school?
Not yet.
Not yet?
I didn't get my diploma.
You got to flunk out of bandit school before
Okay.
you can be a bandit.
I got to flunk out of bandit school.
Well,
Oh, that I did that!
Oh, you did?
I'm gonna
I
teach
lost
you.
my poncho and I
Oh, we can get
forgot
you another
my
one.
gun.
I'm gonna teach you our gang secret
Okay,
handshake.
all right.
And then you come back in summer, you do this handshake, you
Okay.
help us rob the bank. You shake hands like that, you bump elbows like that,
Okay.
and then you wink. All right, that's the Mayfield gang secret
You ready?
handshake.
Oh,
Right.
okay, yeah, that we get with the left-handed version. This, and then we this, and then we wink.
That's
How
right.
close do we have to get before we wink?
Well, not close
Just
enough.
close
to-
enough to see the wink.
Just
Yeah.
close enough, not close enough
Nothing
to touch
uncomfortable.
wings.
But
We're
you
not gonna
can't
touch
be,
eyes.
can't be as far as spitting distance.
Okay,
That's too far
not
away.
as far as spitting distance.
All right.
All right.
So-
You come back this summer, look for the Mayfields.
Okay, the Mayfields.
Join us in our escapades.
I will. All right, there's gold up there.
Gold up there!
Up there, they've got it in space.
Thank you.
No problem.
We'll split you off, son.
Okay. Oh, I've never been so happy to have a striped shirt on me. I gotta tell you, I really miss riding around on trains. Dude, in all seriousness though, back in the day when I was little and I'd ride the train at Knott's Berry Farm, I was so scared of the train robbers. Like, they had guns on them. That used to terrify me. I used to thought it was so serious. Like, I don't know where these cowboys came from, but I don't have any cash on me. I'm just a kid.
Dude, this is absolutely fantastic.
Particularly since we got the whole back railroad car to ourselves. I've been letting people ride in the caboose now for quite a while. I don't know what the reason is. And after the little adventure where I drove the train, I think a lot of the new staff on the train, ever since my friend Travis and Brett Iwan left anyways, I haven't really noticed people doing a lot of cab rides. So every ride I've had lately, I've been packed in with a lot of other people, and look at this! I got the whole train car to myself. I got the whole diddly dang train car. Whoa, it's getting vibrating. To myself. What was that? Did you guys see that? It looked a little bit like a Christmas Carol ghost. You don't think this is actually haunted in here, do you? They are rather old. Then again, old things doesn't necessarily make it haunted, right? Being old doesn't necessarily make it haunted, right? After all, I'm getting up there in years and I'm not haunted yet. Oh, hey, I know where we are. This is right by the roundhouse where they fire up the trains every morning. That's it right there. The roundhouse with many mysteries inside. I think I might have showed that in that video too. Oh, look, and there's the galloping goose in there. I miss that old galloping goose. All right, once you see Supreme scream, you know your train ride is almost over, so I'm just gonna sit here and soak in the last 40 feet. Hello! Dude, this was the kind of spontaneous spur of the moment R&R that I needed. To accidentally end up alone in an old 1800s train car towards the end of the night.
We are now getting back. There's the whistle. You are now free to exit. Please watch your step.
Dude, that was gnarly and awesome. Dude, that was so sick. A whole cabin to myself. Now, what I was originally hoping for was to have the whole outdoor observation car to myself. That would have been slightly better, but I'll take it, dude. I'll take it. Look how freaking awesome this train is. Why don't they play that epic Western music when it's actually going, I wonder? Who knows? Anyway, although we're done with our train ride, we're not done with trains, because we've still got the old Calico Mine ride ahead of us. I love old 41. She's beautiful. Awful whiny, though. Seriously, this train drank too much. You know how I can tell? It's had too much boysenberry wine. Second wine joke with the train. I don't think they work, but it is really loud. Speaking of which, I'd like to put something on the record, by the way, for the future. If you ever meet me in a crowded theme park, the reason I'm always wincing, like when people come up and they're talking to me, I'm always like, huh? Is that in a thing like this with a lot of background noise? I'm actually really hard of hearing. It's all the years in the band. So I have a really hard time hearing people when there's other noises, background noise going on. So if you ever meet me in person, I'm looking at you like, huh? And I'm doing this. I mostly am having a really hard time hearing you, so speak loudly to me. Dude, really quick, actually, before we hop on to the Calico Mine ride, I just noticed this lighted kiosk by the main stage. Look at this, it's got all the eats and treats on the map, easy to find. So if you get lost, come over here. It's not just this, you've also got all the entertainment, like all the little shows and features and musicians. One side shows you where you can buy the tasting cars, but mainly the handiest thing is seeing all the different foods laid out over here, and then actually having the map to figure out where they're located. I was wrong, they're not all just in Ghost Town. The foods are spread out sort of everywhere. All right, and now, my friends, my favorite part of the evening, a nighttime journey on one of my favorite rides in existence. The closest thing Knott has to a real dark ride. The Calico Mine ride. Don't get me wrong, I love a good turn on the Timber Mountain log ride. It's a true classic as well. But the Calico Mine ride, which has been here open since November 1960, is a true theme park original, designed by Bud Hurlbut and partially financed by Walter Knott. And for 1960, this was epically themed. Sadly, the full history and a whole detailed view are going to have to wait because we're running out of film and batteries here. But I at least have to share some of the highlights
of my Calico Mine ride with you guys at night.
Howdy, folks. This here is old Polecat Mahoney, and I am delighted to take you into the famous Calico Mine, the richest gold strike this side of the Mississippi.
We're glad to have you in the mine today.
Well, look at this, folks. Many a poor miner's gone and dug his pick right down in the whole Mother Earth. And we have the last of setting the world's famous Calico Mine glory hole. Site of one of the richest gold strikes in all of the mining operation. Breaking work, picking up all that gold ore. You need the old picks and shovels and
Now y'all can't be too careful in this here mine, folks. Remember, one stray spark and y'all get lost.
And we're getting to the 3,000 foot. Look out, folks. We're headed straight into a dynamite party. This shaft is caving in. Let her rip, boys.
The charges, it's too early. Slow that train down. There's blasting ahead.
Looks like we all made it out just in time, office.
Yes, we
Tell
made it
them
out
old Polecat
just in
Mahoney
time. All right. Well, that was awesome as usual. But it looks like our time on the Calico Mine ride is over. And actually, my time here at Knott's Berry Farm for the day and at the Boysenberry Festival as I film this, probably not as you see this, my birthday is impending. My son just turned yesterday 15 years old, which really made me feel old, believe me. We had a whole birthday ordeal with a whole bunch of teenagers in the house. It was really overwhelming, and then I called my parents and apologized for ever being a teenager. Especially because, don't tell London, but I was a lot worse. Oh, anyway, that means that my birthday, as I film this, is in only a couple of days. Not really a huge fan of birthdays, you know. For me, it always feels like weird if I do something because I don't really like want all the attention. I like when people send cards and stuff to the P.O. box. That's fine. I just mean IRL, like a party or something. Everyone's looking at you and you're like, ah. That always feels weird to me, but then if I escape and disappear and do nothing, then at the end of the day, I'm always like, oh, I guess, did I waste it? Did I waste a birthday? You know? So, I don't know, birthdays are weird. But I've been wanting to film the Boysenberry Festival for a while, and I'm glad that we finally came here together and finished the job. Because for the last several weeks, I have been all wrapped up in something, a project, working on something, acquiring something that I have desperately wanted to share with all of you, but have not had the chance heretofore, because I kept having this on my brain. And the weird thing is, for me, it's really not something new so much as I have restored something from my past, something I haven't had since the first year of filming these videos, but something I've had ever since I was 16 years old before that. And I don't know if it's the birthday, a midlife crisis, best decision I've ever made, the worst mistake I've ever made, or what. But I can't wait to come back with you, because in the next episode, I'm going to show you what the heck I've done. Until then, though, my friends, please check out the links down below. I put them there for a reason, for all of you. It's got the sick merch, the Patreon, the Instagram, all the things people like. I didn't know you had that. It's because you gotta look down below, my friend. Do that quick favor for me real fast, and then, since you've made it here to the end of the video, you'll have done your duty. You can go home and sleep well. Then do a dance and fare thee well. Seriously, though, people should go.
Yeah, don't
Check
you
out
have
the
more
links down
stuff
below, you know what I
everywhere?
mean?
Click all those links.
Yeah, there's Instagram, we got the Patreon thing, there's podcasts, there's a whole actually other video series on Patreon. A lot of people don't know what's that.
Do you talk much about
Oh,
whiskey?
yeah, sure, we talk about whiskey.
I love whiskey,
Yeah,
I'm telling
whiskey,
you.
all,
What about my stuff?
Whatever it is that you're into, All right, see you, fellas. What a pretty purple building. Grimace would love it. Why am I filming my feet? Oh, this video was not very good. It was Boysenberry good, which is super good. What a fun one. It was a fun one for the fam. A fun one for the whole fam.
That farmer being Walter Knott? That farmer being Walter Knott? People-y. Hello.
Hello, subscribe.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Hey, he's doing my job for me. In all seriousness, though. Seriousness, though. Jamming.
I keep accidentally bumping into stuff and hearing that.
Right there, Justin. I'm watching you.
Look at this, they've actually got a painting company out here. And they've got a crane thingy on the other side of the building. They're actually sprucing up Old Independence Hall. And anytime you can fix up Independence, it's a good thing.